Hi, my name is Nicha. In high school, I was that quiet girl who always sat alone with her books. She had long black hair always tied in a ponytail, perfect skin, and eyes that sparkled with confidence. Everyone adored her. She was the kind of girl who could light up any room with her smile and never seemed to have a worry in the world. They were seated at the table by the window, whispering and nudging each other. I turned around and spotted May holding it up like a trophy. She would trip me in the hallways, call me names like Four Eyes or Dumbo, flick my hair, or whisper insults whenever she passed by. She even started spreading rumors about me, saying that I had bad breath, or that I brought bugs to school because I spent too much time in the library. Mrs. Hawthorne always told us that if we finished our chores early, we could leave. So I started dusting bookshelves. She jumped, startled, and I quickly apologized. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. I just thought you might want some company. She shook her head, her eyes downcast. No, it's fine. I'm just looking for something. She looked at me with glassy eyes and whispered, because you're the only one who sees me. That day, she didn't kiss me. She was my love bully, the girl who hurt me, but also taught me how deeply love can hurt when you're too young to understand it. She was my first love, my secret love. And no matter how much she hurt me, a part of me will always miss her. She just hugged me tightly, resting her head on my shoulder. I felt her tears wetting my uniform. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't need an explanation. All I knew was that I loved her and I was willing to endure her love, her pain. Can I help you? She looked up, surprised by my offer. Oh, no. It's nothing. Thanks, she said quickly. I hesitated, unsure what to say next. The silence stretched between us, and I could feel the tension building. I wanted to break it, but I wasn't sure how. Suddenly, she spoke up, her voice soft. Do you want to know why I've been mean to you? I froze, taken aback by her question. I nodded slowly, unsure what to expect. It's not that I hate you, she began, her gaze fixed on the floor. I don't know how to talk to you. You make me feel weird, she admitted quietly. I stared at her, stunned. I couldn't believe that she was apologizing to me. I opened my mouth to respond, but she cut me off. Please don't tell anyone, she pleaded, her eyes wide with fear. Okay, I whispered, still shocked. She nodded, then turned and ran out of the library. I watched her go, confused and scared. She had been mean to me for so long that it never occurred to me that she might be struggling with something herself. As I rearranged some novels, I noticed that they were all facing the wrong direction. After school, she would pull me into empty classrooms to kiss me, hold my hand, and brush my hair behind my ear. She would whisper things like, "You re so pretty" when you cry, in a soft voice that made my heart race. I knew it was wrong to love someone who hurt me, but I couldn't stop. Every kiss made me feel alive. Every touch made my heart ache for more. I loved her despite the pain she caused me. I loved her even though she broke my glasses and called me names. I loved her even though she pushed me to the ground and laughed as I fell. Some days I wished she would stop, but most days I hoped she would keep hurting me, because that meant she loved me too. I turned them around, but moments later, I heard footsteps. Startled, I hid behind a bookshelf, peeking out to see who it was. It was May. She walked slowly through the library, her gaze fixed on the floor. She looked upset. For a moment, I considered calling out to her, but then I decided to stay silent. What if she started bullying me again? I was too scared. I waited for her to leave, but a few minutes passed and she was still there, moving from one bookshelf to another. I couldn't help but feel curious. Why was she spending so much time here? And why did she look so sad? Sometimes I wanted to scream and ask her why she was doing this to me. But most days, I just felt too scared. I tried ignoring her, but her bullying only intensified. She would block my path and corner me against lockers, enjoying my discomfort. Once she even locked me in the art room after school, and I had to call my dad to come and rescue me. Everything I did, she did to me. It was like a never-ending cycle of torment. Before I could react, she began reading my poem aloud, her voice dripping with mockery. I hadn't done anything to her. Sure, I was different and a bit awkward, but so was she. In her own way. She was always getting into fights with people and causing trouble around school. I remember once she poured orange juice on this kid named Justin because he called her a valley girl. But me, I was too afraid to stand up for myself. I was the shy bookworm who got lost in fantasy worlds and dreamed of adventures that would never happen to me. At least, that's what I thought until one evening. A girl with eyes as dark as the night weeps silently beneath the pale moonlight. She dreams of worlds where words ignite, and with every verse, her spirit takes flight. May paused, glancing at me with a smirk. Oh, wow. So deep, so mysterious. Who could have ever guessed that our dear Nicha writes poetry in her spare time? Such a shock, right? The class erupted into laughter and my face burned with embarrassment. I wanted to snatch my notebook back, but May just raised it higher, taunting me. Finally, she tossed it back onto my desk and returned to her seat. I quickly gathered my things and ran out of the classroom. Tears streamed down my face as I made my way to the bathroom. I splashed water on my face, trying to calm myself down. When I looked up, I saw my reflection staring back with puffy, red eyes. I took a deep breath and forced myself to go back to class. I knew there was no point in crying over spilled milk. But what I didn't know was that this was just the beginning. This was just the beginning. Curiosity got the better of me, and I couldn't help but eavesdrop on their conversation. Did you see her bag? Like, seriously, has anyone checked what's inside that thing? It's so big and ugly. Maybe there are dead rats, May said, making gagging noises. Her friends erupted into laughter, but I remained unfazed. I continued walking towards my bag, pretending not to listen to them. However, I couldn't help but feel angry. To me, she was a nightmare. I never really bothered anyone, but somehow I became the target of a girl named May. We were supposed to be reading Shakespeare, but honestly, I much preferred writing my own stories in my little notebook during class. Mrs. Hawthorne, being the wise teacher that she was, knew most of us weren't interested in reading Romeo and Juliet, so she gave us an option to write our own monologues instead. My story was about a girl who finds strength in books and uses them as weapons against the world. I spent most of the day writing and revising it, so I was quite surprised when the bell rang. Looking around, I saw everyone was already packing their bags. I quickly shoved my work into my bag, trying to hide it. I was eager to show my story to Mrs. Hawthorne and get feedback, but now I was afraid others might see what I had written. May was beautiful. It all started one morning in our literature class. As I walked towards my desk, I heard snickers and giggles coming from May and her group of friends. When I reached my bag, I found that someone had taken out my notebook. From that day forward, May made my life miserable. The worst part was that I couldn't figure out why she was doing this to me. One evening after school, I stayed late to help clean the library. When she finally came behind the bookshelf, I was hiding behind. I called out to her, "May, is everything okay?" After that day, everything changed. In public, she still teased me, but it wasn't as cruel anymore. One day, while we were sitting behind the gym, hidden from everyone, I asked her, "Why me, May?" High school ended and we went our separate ways. But even today, I think about her kisses, her bullying, her confusing love.